Who are you really when no one is watching? When someone asks this question, your mind might go to, they're judging me. They think I am someone else when no one is watching. But that's not where I want you to go. Who do you think you are when no one is watching? What do you think of yourself? As I prepare to make videos or take pictures for social media, I spend some time putting on makeup, doing my hair, making sure the lighting is good, the angle makes me look skinny and young, adjusting the brightness, adding filter, blurring the background. Once the video or photo is ready, I make sure it comes out good. When it does, I feel good. It boosts my confidence. I feel validated. But that same evening, after the photo shoot or the video recording, when I take off my makeup, when I put up my hair and look in the mirror, I feel like the video from earlier or the photo, it's not the real me. It feels like I'm an imposter. I catfish myself. Now, let me make this clear. There is nothing wrong with you wanting to look good, to feel good and confident, as long as you're still you and you're not catfishing anyone. But something hit me one day. We live in a world that teaches us to filter everything, our photos, our personalities, even our faith, until we forget who we really are. What filter are you using to get people's approval? And what would happen if you let God show you who you really are? So let me ask you again. Who are you really when no one is watching? And does that version of you match the one that God sees? If we're being honest, most of us live with two identities. The performance version, what we show the world, and the hidden version, what we carry when no one else is around. The world tells us your worth comes from how you look, what you achieve, how many people approve. But that version of identity is unstable. It shifts with trends, moods, and likes. But God offers something different. He speaks a deeper truth over you, a stable identity, one that doesn't change with filters or failures. Let's go to scriptures. Colossians 3 says that since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, for you died and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. This verse tells us something powerful. Your true identity is not in your performance, is not in your appearance, is not even in how you feel about yourself. Your identity is hidden in Christ and God. That means who you are is anchored in who He is. We all built some kind of identity. Some of us built it around success, some around being liked, some around what we do, our work, our grades, our talents. Some built it around sexual preferences or desires. That is performance identity. It says, I am what I do. I am what people think. I am how well I perform. And the world says, this is who you are. This is your truth. Live it, own it, celebrate it. But here's the problem. If you fail, who are you then? If people don't clap, do you still matter? What happens when our identity is built on something temporary, broken, or shifting? If you fail, who are you then? If your feelings changing or people stop affirming you, who are you then? What if the things we feel don't match who God says we are? There's a deeper truth available. You're not your desires. You're not your achievements or even your failures. You're not your relationship status. You're not your feelings. You are a child of God, made in His image, called to live in His truth. Peter was an interesting character. Peter thought he knew who he was. He was bold. He was loyal, the leader. During the Last Supper, a very solemn event, Jesus, preparing the disciples, told them, "You will all fall away because of me." And Peter, even though all might fall away because of you, I will never fall away. That's performance identity. I am strong. I am reliable. I will never fail. Then what happens? Peter falls. He denies Jesus 3 times before the rooster crows, and he goes out and weeps bitterly. Peter didn't just weep because he made a mistake. He wept because he betrayed Jesus, the one he loved. He said that he would never fall, and then he did. Hard. That moment brought deep shame, regret, and confusion. That wasn't just about his failure, it was about identity. He realized he had hurt Jesus, but also that the version of himself he believed in, the bold, the unshakable disciple, wasn't real. His performance identity failed. And when he collapsed, so did his confidence in who he was. But Jesus wasn't done with Peter. He didn't cancel him, he restored him. In John 21, Jesus asked Peter, not why did he fail, but do you love me? And each time Peter says yes, Jesus gives him a new identity and calling. And he says, feed my sheep. Jesus doesn't build Peter back up on pride or performance. He builds him on love and grace. Peter's story shows us something very important. Jesus doesn't just forgive your failures. He redefines you. He doesn't just restore your identity as his child. He gives you a calling, feed my sheep. That was Peter's mission. It came after the failure, after the shame. When Peter knew who he wasn't, Jesus showed him who he truly was. And the same is true for you. When you stop building your life on how you perform, how you look, who approves you, what you feel, you finally have space to ask, God, who do you say I am? And what have you called me to do? You are not your past. You're not your brokenness. You're not your desires. You're not your image. You are His. And you are here for a purpose. So what would happen if you actually believe that? What would change in your life if your identity and your calling came from Christ? When you know who you are, you can live out what you are called to do. But when you don't know who you are, you will be chasing the wrong calling, one built on insecurity, not purpose. Jesus didn't give Peter a calling until Peter understood 2 things: that he couldn't depend on himself and that Jesus still loved him. Then, after that moment, Jesus said, feed my sheep. You may be asking, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do with my life? Why don't I feel called like other people? Let me speak truth into that. Your calling isn't about fame, platform, or having everything figured out. It's about faithfulness to the one who called you. You don't need clarity to be called. You just need to start with identity. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Not created to earn His love, but created in Christ. That's identity. That's who you are. And because of who you are, you're called to live with a purpose. And from there, to do good works. That's calling. You may be called to lead a small group, to be a light in your workplace, care for your family, create content that points people to Jesus, study with excellency, encourage others who feel forgotten, share your story so someone else finds hope. You don't have to do something big to live your calling. You just have to be faithful to what God puts in your hands today. One experience that changed my life was when I was a missionary in the Amazon. The needs were overwhelming. The poverty was heartbreaking. But what affected me most wasn't just the situation around me. It was what was going on inside me. I had poured myself into the work. I had given out that I had, but I wasn't seeing the results that I expected. I started feeling like a failure. Not just I failed at a task, but I am a failure. I remember one day collapsing on my bed, crying, frustrated, and saying to God, no matter what I do, it's not enough. Maybe I'm not enough. And in that quiet broken moment, I sensed God's voice, not loud, but clear. You will not change the world. Take care of the one that I put in front of you. That moment changed me. God wasn't just correcting my mission. He was restoring my identity. He was reminding me, you are not valuable because of what you accomplished. You are valuable because you are mine. That day, I made a commitment. I will stop trying to prove myself. I will stop tying my worth to outcomes. I will live as someone already loved and already called. Some days, I speak to many, other days it's just one, but I don't serve to become someone. I serve because I already am someone, a child of God. So let me ask you, who are you really when no one is watching? And maybe the better question is, who do you believe God says you are? Are you chasing identity through performance, or are you resting in who you already are in Christ? Your identity is not in the past, your mistakes, your desires, or your success. It is in Jesus. And that truth doesn't change, even when you do. The only question now is, will you live like it's true? We will continue now with our conversation for those that are live. But if you are watching online later, feel free to continue the conversation in the comments. And make sure to join us next week. We will be talking about emotional maturity, following Jesus with emotions. See you then.